Yo, what is going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we've got the review for chapter 215 of Black Clover. As always, I'll be giving you guys my 100% honest opinions and thoughts on the latest chapter. But before I do that, let's jump into what you guys rated this chapter with the new Senpai Star system. Now, a whopping 54% of you gave this chapter a 4. Now, this is a complete opposite to last week with Samurai 8, where I actually thought the chapter was better than you guys rated it, because this week, in my honest opinion, I'm gonna give it a 3. Like, it wasn't bad, but kind of like, let's be honest, it was really short. It was only 11 pages, and it's not Tabata's fault. It's like, what can you really do in such a small amount of time? The art this week, I mean, I didn't think it was anything, it wasn't phenomenal. It was just kind of like standard Tabata art. I think we all know that Tabata really comes to life with his artwork when it's to do with action sequences, big reveals, stuff like that. Just normal character dialogue. Like, it's not bad by any stretch of imagination. Like, I couldn't even come close to it personally, but it's like, it's nothing you're gonna save onto your phone, for example, if you know what I mean. And don't take that as me calling Tabata a terrible artist, because if you do that, you're just dumb. You just are, because I'm not saying that whatsoever. It was just standard Tabata art. It was just him being his chill self, and honestly, he's just recently had a kid, so you can't blame him. I'm not gonna give him too much slack there. It's just, like I said, it's just, I didn't think it was anything special, but it wasn't bad either. Now, I've actually got written down here that the plot progression was minimal, but when I think about it, with the short amount of space he had, only 11 pages, the plot progression was actually really, really good. So, you know, fair play. I mean, we had William getting forgiven by Julius. I honestly don't know what to comment on it. I think that Patry and William have gotten off so lightly in terms of their punishments. Like, they are some of the luckiest people in the world. The fact that Julius has been so nice to forgive them, and I suppose it is in Julius's characters. Like, I didn't expect a huge, like, not like the death penalty or anything crazy like that. I mean, I've been saying all along that I think William should be taken away as a Magic Knight captain, maybe even Magic Knight altogether, maybe questioned in some solitary confinement, something along those lines. But, you know, he's gotten off very, very lucky. I think we can all say that, and it's going to be interesting to see how many people in the fandom forgive William, because I think it's, you know, it's fair to say that a lot of people despised him for like the past like 50 plus chapters now. We also had Julius kind of explaining in more detail how he came back. If I'm honest, it wasn't anything too groundbreaking. I think the majority of us kind of picked up on what happened last chapter using our own imagination. We got it right. The interesting part of it, though, was the inclusion of the magic tool that Julius found, because it looks very, very, very similar. I'd probably go as far to say it is the one that was used in the Elf Massacre. And what's even more interesting was the fact that it's given the name Swallowtail, which some of you may not know, but that is the last name, the actual official last name of Nero. So, you know, obviously I think it's safe to say that that magic tool is probably based off Nero, because obviously it sealed magic away. That is how they massacred the elf tribe, and obviously Nero's magic is sealing magic. And it'll be interesting, because we saw in this chapter that there was a panel focused on her being extremely shocked that her name was used to name this device. And I think if she ever comes to fruition to realize what this device actually is, I wonder whether or not she'll take any sort of blame on the Elf Massacre, because obviously she was around all back then. She was good friends and partners with the, I almost called him First Hokage, with the initial First Wizard King, and she knew the elf tribe, so maybe she shouldn't take blame. She's not to be blamed at all, but it'll be interesting what her thoughts on it are. And then finally, the final part of the chapter, really, and by an absolute landslide, by far my favourite part of the entire chapter, and that was Julius laying out the groundwork, laying out the foundations for the brand new saga that we're finally entering. Like I think we all expected, because it's been foreshadowed now for a hell of a long time, it's going to involve some sort of conflict with another kingdom. The Diamond Kingdom probably being the most likely and most easy one to go with. But I don't think we should go into that arc straight away. I think beforehand we should have another little arc, and I have two reasons for that. One, I want a new Wizard King election arc. Julius can't be the Wizard King, he's a lot weaker. Like he was saying himself, that this attack may have some sort of question marks over the Wizard King role amongst the nobility and the higher king and everyone like that. So a new Wizard King I think is definitely going to be picked. I mean, Julius himself even said the Magic Emperor has disappeared. I don't think he was trying to trick people into thinking he wasn't the Magic Emperor. I think what he meant by that is, like, you know, the actual Magic Emperor, he's gone now. He's vanished. I'm just Julius, not the Magic Emperor. I think that's kind of what he was trying to go for. So a Wizard King election arc has to happen, because I think it would also be very, very interesting, especially like what I was saying with the nobles and maybe their opinion being swayed on who actually the right man for the job is to take on this role. I think it will create some interesting conflict inside the kingdom, which you could argue is the last thing they want right now. But I think if you're going to introduce a political arc, which this would be, I don't think you'd be able to not expect something like that. And personally, I really enjoy those slightly more calm but very, very important political arcs. It's really weird. I really enjoyed it when it happened in Attack on Titan, and I know a lot of people didn't, but it's just my opinion on it. I really hope that happens, and it also leads into my second reasoning for why we shouldn't jump straight into the Diamond Kingdom invasion. And that being, if the Diamond Kingdom, or any kingdom for that matter, invaded right now, I don't see how it would make sense. How would they know that the Clover Kingdom is vulnerable right now? I just don't know how they would have been able to caught wind of it. I think if you have a Wizard King election arc beforehand, it causes up some controversy amongst the Clover Kingdom. It gets rumours being spread amongst civilians and gets everybody talking. And then eventually those rumours and people talking would find its way eventually to the Diamond Kingdom. And then as soon as the Diamond Kingdom catch wind of what's happened in the Clover Kingdom, bam! Then they attack. Maybe then they can attack before a Wizard King's elected. That would be extremely interesting. But I hope that's not the case. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I do think if you go straight into a kingdom invasion, unless it's pure coincidence, which could happen, I don't think it would make sense, because I don't know how the other kingdom would be able to really know what's going on in the Clover Kingdom. Because although it's been going on for like over a year for us, like over probably 100 chapters for us, this elf war, it's lasted a couple days, I think, max. And then finally, how could I forget? Asta is gonna die? Julius, you can't be just saying things like that so casually. Not when the kid is literally stood right next to you, Julius. Have some sense, man. Like, you can't just be sprouting that out about the place like it means nothing. But I think one of the interesting things about this is, how does Julius know this? Is it just a hunch of his? Does he think now that people are going to start getting wind of his anti-magic ability, the demon within him? Are people going to want that power for themselves? Or are they going to get rid of him and kill him and just ostracize him to the rest of the kingdom, the rest of the world? Like he's not ostracized already for being one of the poor guys. But like, is he going to be a bit like Naruto and how the Leaf Village viewed him for having Kurama within him? Is it going to be a similar scenario with Asta, but rather than just not talking to him and leaving him be, they're going to try and full out kill Asta? Or does Julius know? Like, has he seen Asta's future and that's how he knows? Because if that's how he knows, that's going to be interesting, because how is Asta going to escape that fate? We need the new chapter. Either way, I think it's definitely going to involve the demon. I mean, how couldn't it? We just had an entire huge arc, and the climax of it involved demons. Like, I think surely if they're going to have to link those two together, I think it makes total sense for it to be involving the demons somehow. But, you know, like, I think now going forward, the demon inside Asta's grimoire is slowly going to start getting more screen time, because now that we've dived a little bit more into how the demons live and the fact that they've got their own dimension, all of that type of stuff, it's going to be, I think, and also people actually now are more or less completely aware of the demon within Asta's grimoire. Before, it was just kind of, no one really questioned why it's a five-leaf grimoire, why he's got anti-magic, why he's got this demon transformation. No one really questioned it. They just kind of thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And now that they've seen it firsthand, and they've seen a demon firsthand as well, I wonder how that's going to change and switch up people's roles. I mean, we know that they're fully aware of it now, because I don't think it was this chapter, I think it was last week's chapter, where I think it was Nero or someone who actually kind of joked slightly on how, isn't it funny how a demon's power is what we used to defeat a demon. I thought that was quite interesting. So yeah, very excited to see more on that. And if he is to be involved with Asta's death, then he's definitely going to be appearing more. So yeah, like I said, overall, I'm giving it a 3. It wasn't bad at all. It's just, it wasn't anything spectacular either. Like I said, it was quite standard art, nothing too crazy for Tabata. But after that arc, like, the dude deserves a bit of a rest. Like, his wrist, I dread to think what it must be like with all those double-page spreads he was giving us and everything. So yeah, we probably, it was more of a chilled out chapter in general, really, and to be honest, we probably deserve and could definitely do with that, so it's not necessarily a bad thing either. It's just kind of like the dialogue as well. There was a lot of dialogue in there which I didn't really care for too much. I mean, it was mainly the Julia stuff, because I think it's, like I said, we all kind of knew what was going on with that. So, but I think the ending though was by far one of the best cliffhangers in the entire series so far. And honestly, maybe I should put it up to a 4. I'm going to stick with a 3, just because I feel like my gut feeling, always go with your gut feeling, it knows best. And I also want to be a bit more, I don't want to be handing out really high scores, because you've got to remember, a 4 in the little ranking we've got on, that means it's like a very above average chapter, like a very, very good chapter. So I don't want to be too lenient with the numbers I give out, so I'll stick with a 3. Nothing too bad, nothing too fantastic, solid, chilled out chapter. Guys, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. Make sure to cast your vote for the next chapter using the Senpai stars, so your vote will contribute towards the community ranking that we give it. I'll be seeing you guys in another video, but until then, peace. 執着の地を焦がす寡黙な炎おびき寄せられた神々の化身恐れを知らぬ剣が貫く目指す場所とはまだ見ぬ定め近づいてくる決戦の時